Well, hey everyone, my name is Nathan Jones, and if you're new here, welcome. I like to talk about all things movies, specifically Blu-rays, and today we're going to cover the Bruce Lee box set from Arrow Video, which I'll show you in here just a second. But I didn't expect to make this video today. I thought it was coming in on Monday, when this was supposed to arrive, I suppose. And today I actually just moved a giant brush pile to my neighbors who has a bunch of, they can burn wood. And so I've been out there in the heat all morning. So I'm very tired and exhausted. But when I, saw this package arrive at my doorstep, I'm like, okay, well, maybe we can make a video of this and compare and contrast a little bit on the box set from Criterion as well. So that's what we're going to be doing today. So we're going to talk about the Bruce Lee Golden Harvest box set from Arrow Video. There it is on all its glory. And as you can see right there, that is the entire thing. As you can see there's a little bit of damage. And I'm actually not the only one who got things damaged. I know my good friends Tony over at Basement Blues, and I know my friend David at Film Archive also had damaged packages. And I know I'm not the only one here who also had the same problem. Here, at least in the States. I have no idea about over in the UK where this originated from. But I'm a little bit disappointed in that sense, at least in terms of packaging. So please, Arrow, if you're listening, try to find a new shipping place, or at least some kind of distributor that doesn't put these things in, really flimsy packages. Because if they're coming over here, they're getting tossed around, and I get it. Obviously shipping is really, that's what everyone's doing these days. So everyone is shipping things from left and right from everywhere. But things like this, they need a little bit more packaging added to it, a little bit more bubble wrap, things like this. That's all that's important for this. So, and also this is a pretty hefty thing. So just in terms of size, weight, and price. So it makes sense to put a little bit more care into that. So with that being said, let's unpackage this. I actually have, as you can see, the sticker is still on it. So let's unbox it right now as we are doing this together on camera. So can't retake this one. If I mess up, I mess up. So there it is in all its glory. And then there is the J card on the back. It has a J card that slips off of it, I would assume. Yep, this giant box right here. This is what comes with it. So this houses the entire thing. Oh, I love the back of this. So you can see a really great commissioned piece of Bruce Lee right there. So this is the exclusive from Arrow Video's site. And so this is where this came from. So as you can probably see right here, as we open it up, there are the packages and the films themselves. And I know I'm not the only one who's going to be showing this off, so I'm not going to go too much in depth with this, but let's go over the films real quick, and we'll jump into the other stuff. So there you can see is the Big Boss, great film right here, 4K right here. So very excited about that. I'm going to try to get all this stuff out of my lap here. That way we can do this properly. Ooh, this came with something right there. So there is that one right there, the Big Boss. And it comes with this cool little thing, which Arrow does like with everything they do. So there's that. Then we also have the Big Boss, the Mandarin cut right there, which has the limited edition 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray contents as well. And there you go with the extra edition there. A little shaky. I'm a little tired. Like I said, I was moving a lot of stuff. Fist of Fury right here. This is the 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray contents as well. So there's that. So this is a really great set. This is hands I think hands down a lot better than the Criterion set, which we'll get to in a second. But right here we have The Way of the Dragon, which is one of my favorite ones. Of course, you got Chuck Norris in this one, and so it's a really great one at that. I love that scene at the end where he's fighting him in the stadium. That is a wild movie. And then we have the most famous Bruce Lee film of all time. Unfortunately, it's only a Blu-ray. That's Enter the Dragon, which hopefully will look great. Unfortunately, it is the Warner Brothers edition, as you can see with my thumb. It's not anything too special. This is like one of the only ones that really was barely touched. But anyway, here is Game of Death with Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, who I love. I'm a big basketball fan too, so of course I like him a lot. Really love this artwork that we're seeing here on this stuff. And this is where we get into the other things right here. We have the Game of Death alternate versions right here, because obviously this came out after Bruce Lee died. And so these are some alternate cuts of this. So I don't think I've seen these ones in particular, but I'm excited to check it out. Then we have the final Game of Death, which I think, you know, might be the last one that it was covered right there, the final Game of Death. And I think we have Game of Death 2, the Tower of Death, which I do not believe Bruce Lee had anything to do with, obviously, and had a lot of cuts of Bruce Lee himself in there, obviously used posthumously. Anyway, he died. There's that. Obviously, you can tell I'm a little exhausted. And then there's Bruce Lee, the man, the legend, the man and the legend / the legend right here. Right? I think this is a documentary right here. Very excited for that. And then, of course, we have the extra stuff outside the films themselves, which I'll have to move this to the side, and we'll get to this stuff right here. So, the first thing to show you is really great. This hardcover is a very nice edition. So there is that right there. This is a hard, you know, this is like a hardcover book right here. So I'm very excited to dive into this, you know, this thing right here. This looks like it's going to be a lot of fun to read about when I get the chance. But like this is in great condition. So glad that this thing you know, came out like that. And then of course we have a few other things. We have a poster, which might be a little too big in here to show you and unveil. I guess not, maybe. There it is. There's the big boss right there. And then here is the Way of the Dragon, which is probably the one, that's probably the one that I will be putting up on my wall. So I always love posters. I'm running out of room to do those things. And then in addition to that, there's also this thing right here. Bruce Lee is Dynamite. Little thing in here, which I think has a bunch of other little things inside it, where it has all these kind of just slip cards in here, which are freaking awesome. Obviously, these things are not something that I genuinely, like, there's just a bunch of just Bruce Lee, like, almost like cards, but on the back there are different, you know, scenes here. So it's almost like stuff you'd get at like a magazine or something, where you get something like that stuff. But like there's a ton of this stuff in here, but with different types of scenes in it. It looks like it's maybe the same scene in some things, but different scene cards in here. So that's kind of cool. But once again, I don't really know what to do with postcards, so I'll just leave them alone in this box for the most part, and you know, leave it be. And like I was saying, you know, as we're about to transition into the Criterion edition, this is where it's going to be hard to do. So these are actually some pictures, some black and white pictures. So these are actually like some nice photographs of Bruce Lee. But once again, just kind of like with the postcards, I don't know what to do with these. But it's just really cool to kind of see these. These are actually really high quality photos. So like these are like glossy and they feel really nice. So anywho, so that's the kind of the contents of this box set. There are quite a bit of things to unpack. Of course, I have not seen it all. It just came in the mail for me. But I am excited to dive in. Of course, I actually dove into the Bruce Lee films a couple years back when Criterion put their release out, and I will show you that in just a second. Ta-da! Put it all back together in this nice box set right here. Once again, get better at packaging and sending these things out, but super excited to dive into this amazing box set right here. But let's compare this to the set from Criterion. Of course, that's what's in the name of the video. Kind of just a little bit of a comparison from this set to this set right here. This is a lot less content, of course, in here, but as you can tell, this is a sturdy box compared to this kind of flimsy packaging here. Of course, I was really excited when this came out, and I do love the design of this whole entire thing, because I think it was creative in terms of kind of how it came about. There it is right there in its glory. But of course, it kind of just came out like that, where a lot of these discs were like they're together. It's kind of flimsy in terms of like the way it's like set up. Like this isn't terrible, but it could be a lot better. At least it could be a little bit hard, like, you know, maybe some kind of hardcover like this, you know. I just, you know, that's all I would say is, you know, put a little bit of money into that and get there from there. But, you know, it came with this Bruce Lee, his greatest hits, kind of like pamphlet, you know, which has some really good content in it as well. But, you know, for overall, it's kind of flimsy in comparison to the Arrow Video box set. And, you know, but this has different special features, of course, too. This has a lot of special features here. I'm not going to go through everything, but the special features on the Bruce Lee Golden Harvest set is all right there. So if you can pause the video and read it all, you know, more power to you. But yeah, I just wanted to cover this. I didn't plan on making a video today, but I wanted to do a little bit of something before we jump into our question and prompt series for tomorrow and jump into more things. So make sure to check out the latest film journey that dropped yesterday with Dell. That was a lot of fun, and I hope you enjoyed this box set comparison with Bruce Lee at Golden Harvest and Bruce Lee's Greatest Hits, Arrow Video, Criterion. Which one you decide? If you decide to go with the Criterion here in North America, this is a lot easier to get. It's cheaper, but with this set, you run the risk. If you're going to get it, you're going to probably have to get it from Orbit DVD, Diabolique, some exported places, but also at the same time, you know, if you're going to get it from Arrow, you know, just be aware that it might come in a little bit damaged. So we're trying to figure that out. So hopefully Arrow can do some kind of thing in the future with this. But I'm very excited to jump into this set. I'm glad that this was made. This is going to be one of the greatest box sets, I think, of the year. So very, very excited to dive into it. But what are your thoughts on this? At least in terms of packaging. I know not everyone's seen all the films yet in terms of, you know, the restorations and what they look like. So I'm excited to dive into that. So what are your thoughts on Bruce Lee? Have you seen all of his films? Let me know in the comment section down below. Be sure to comment, share, hit the notification bell, subscribe, and I will see you next time. I'm not jonesing around.